Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Welcome to another episode of this Ramadan series. Today we want to talk about the idea of memorizing the Qur'an, studying the Qur'an, being of the people of Al-Qur'an, Ahlul Qur'an. And so there's a very beautiful verse in the Qur'an where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. This verse in the Qur'an is actually repeated a few times, subhanAllah, and that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has facilitated, has made easy this Qur'an, this recital has been made easy for us as believers. So is there someone that will recite? Is there someone that will memorize? And of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We have revealed this reminder and we will be the ones to preserve it. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserves His revelation to us, but He also uses us to be amongst those that preserve the Qur'an. This is why when someone memorizes the Qur'an, he or she is called a hafiz or a hafidah, meaning someone that has memorized the Qur'an, a preserver of the Qur'an, a carrier of the Qur'an. But it's not enough to only memorize it by heart. It's also required that you act upon it, that you live by it, that you also teach it, and that you understand its meanings, inshallah ba'ameen. On the Day of Judgment, there will be people that will be worried about their status. They will be worried about where will they go. And they perhaps maybe were worried about their status in dunya as well. You know, what promotion will they get? Will they be bumped up to first class? Will they get the good seat, the good position, the good salary, the good pay, the good relationship? Will they have blessings in this world? That is the concern of many of us, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it is within the scope and the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for us all. But on the Day of Judgment, the concern will be a little bit different. It will be like, what did I do in my life? Did I use it in the right way? The years that I had, am I going to be amongst the blessed in Jannah, inshallah, or amongst those that are punished? That will be the concern. And then the Prophet gives us glad tidings. For those that are keen on connecting to the Qur'an, he says that on the Day of Judgment, the people that have studied the Qur'an and become people of the Qur'an will be called upon to rise in their ranks in Al-Jannah. And so, iqra wartaqi, read from the Qur'an and rise up, elevate your status as you used to read in the dunya, right? Your ranks, the last rank that you attain in Al-Jannah will be where you stop in your recitation, subhanAllah. And that encourages us to be amongst Ahlul Qur'an, people that study the Qur'an and memorize the Qur'an, put effort in the Qur'an. Those that, read the Qur'an proficiently, subhanAllah, the Prophet is reported to have said that they are with as-safarah, al-kiram, al-bararah, meaning the scribes that are honorable and that are righteous. And these are, many scholars say, the angels that actually are scribing our deeds and writing them down, with integrity, accurately. And so when we are people of Qur'an and when we are proficient in the Qur'an, subhanAllah, we attain the ranks of angels. And there is another hadith that says that there's someone that struggles with the recitation of the Qur'an, but is keen on reciting the Qur'an. They have double the reward, subhanAllah. The reward of being amongst those that read the Qur'an and the reward of those that are not giving up, those that have istiqamah, those that are keen on being steadfast on studying the Qur'an and being people of the Qur'an, despite the difficulties, despite the challenges that come with it, subhanAllah. It takes sacrifice. You have to perhaps sacrifice leisure time and put that time instead into the Qur'an. It takes a lot of dedication and focus because maybe you would have preferred to relax or chillax, as they like to say, but instead you're actually focusing tremendously on the Qur'an, trying to study it and memorize it and be amongst Ahlul Qur'an. We ask Allah to enable us to be amongst Ahlul Qur'an. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. The other aspect that we should never neglect when we talk about memorizing the Qur'an and studying the Qur'an is what is known as tadabbur al-Qur'an, reflecting and pondering the Qur'an and learning lessons that we can adopt in our day-to-day lives. Because Allah asks the question in the Qur'an a few times. He says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Do they not reflect and ponder upon the Qur'an? And if they did so, they would find answers to all their questions. They would find a clear demarcation between truth and falsehood. They would find a clear description of how and what we need to do to become amongst the righteous and the pious. And so there it is. We need to do what is known as tadabbur, which means reflecting, pondering. They say that there's a difference between tafsir and tadabbur. Tafsir is to understand the meaning of the verses, and that is required, of course, and we need to do that. But tadabbur is the next step. What do we do now that you know the meaning? Now that you've understood the meaning, now that you've read the meaning, now that you know the meaning, now that you know, the responsibility is to act, and that is tadabbur. What is it that I need to do? What is the verses that I just recited tell us to do? And so, for example, the verse that we recited that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the preserver of this Quran, this revelation. How is that beneficial to me? What action do I take based on that? Well, I ask myself, am I someone that is part of that caravan, part of that group of preservers of the Quran? Will I attain the reward of those people? Or am I someone that is on the sidelines, that has no part to play? And we're not talking about people memorizing the whole Quran, even though that's amazing, becoming a full hafiz or hafidah. But we're talking about even memorizing some parts that you can pass on to others, that you can, understand and apply in your day-to-day lives, that you can use in your prayers, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. That, inshallah, makes you amongst the preservers. If you are amongst the people of the Quran, inshallah. I mean, again, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to be min Ahlul Qur'an, from the people of the Quran. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.